Hello everyone, welcome back to Total Football Talk. So we're going to look at all the latest news and transfer news coming out of Manchester United. And yeah, oh boy, yesterday was an unbelievable day for news, and there's still more absolutely just crashing out of the club at the minute. So I'm going to try and do this in 10 minutes, so bear with me. I'm going to try and rattle through it. Please, as I do, throw in your comments below. I'd really love to hear from you guys. Thanks very much for all the people who've commented so far. It's been great to hear from you. I've got the hiccups. And okay, so we're going to look at the tops. I'm going to start off. Everybody at the minute is going in hard on the cuts at Manchester United, and I will go in on them as well. But I will start with the top story, the transfer story, that apparently Manchester United have got a 95% completed deal done for Osimhen. Now, where this is coming from, I'm not entirely sure whether it's whether it's entirely true, but I do know that Manchester United are interested in Osimhen, and so we'll have a brief look at that. James Ducker's released some. He's kind of quote tweeted himself on the cost cutting at Manchester United. There's stuff on the debt repayments, how that's going to go. Simon Stone's done a piece on where if Manchester United finished in the league, how that's going to be detrimental to our financial situation in terms of bringing players in the summer. Fabrizio Romano has talked about the cost cuttings that are going on at Manchester United. We'll look at a little bit like Omar Barada came out with a beautiful statement yesterday talking about how commercial partners are very important to Manchester United. Forget the fans, but we'll look at that anyway. And then Kieran Maguire did a little video with a breakdown on sort of why Manchester United are cutting costs in one area, but really, we all know where the real area of what the problem is, and it lies with the debt. So we'll do I'll show a quick little video of what he said to Rio on his show, and we'll have a quick discussion on that. But okay, so as I said, the news coming out is that Manchester United have reportedly completed a 95% deal with with Victor Osimhen. 75 million. Apparently we're going to hit the release clause of 75 million euros. Osimhen, we've talked about this yesterday, him or Gyökeres or Delap. Now, if it is Osimhen and we do get him, I'll be very happy. But will we be happy with the reason why we're going to be able to get him from the statements that came out yesterday? And we'll kind of look at a little bit of that next in terms of the cost cutting. It doesn't sit well with me at the minute. Manchester United are despicable. I'm absolutely disgusted with my club. I feel sick to the stomach of what is actually happening with the cost cutting and all the good people losing their jobs. Now, I've been through the corporate mill and I've understood what it's like to, be cut from my job. And it's not nice, and it's not easy to deal with. And yes, you get a payout, and obviously that will cost the club money. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to, bounce back straight away and you're going to find another job. Sir Jim Ratcliffe talked about putting the Manchester back in Manchester. It's more like he's putting the Manchester people on the streets of Manchester. I don't know what he meant by that statement, but if this is what he meant was coming in and cost cutting, then it's unbelievably shocking because, there's a lot of good people losing their jobs. And yeah, I understand sometimes you have to do a little bit cost cutting here, a bit of cost cutting there. I get it. Sometimes you maybe do have a slightly overloaded workforce, and maybe you do, but the substantial amount of costs are shocking at the minute, and it just makes me sick that a lot of good people are going to be struggling over the next period of time, regardless of whether they get any payout or not, because it's not just what it does to you financially, it's what it does to you mentally and how you come back from that. And it wasn't necessarily not your fault, and it's just, unfortunately, the Glazers have destroyed this club, and with the debt repayments, which we'll look at in a second, they're absolutely crippling us, and a lot of good people have to lose a lot of jobs. So my heart goes out to them because I have been in that situation before. I know what it's like, and have to start rebuilding a life again. It is not easy. Okay, so James Ducker kind of quote tweeted himself, and he talks about 200 jobs were cut, and now they're going to cut another 250. And here's a reminder of what people ultimately are responsible for the mess that Old Trafford have creamed off the club, and it's never any accountability, and they never hold any accountability whatsoever. He's talking about the Glazers there. They've never held any accountability for their mistakes. They've talked about they've outsourced their PR problem, and they've netted 1.3 billion through sales and shares and dividends, while the club has spent 815 million in interest servicing their leveraged takeover. I mean, that is just shocking. Those figures just make me absolutely sick. That, you know, people are losing their jobs essentially because Manchester United have paid so much off the debt, but they haven't actually taken anything really. The impact on the debt has been so minimal. It's literally just serviced it, and that's it. It's like having a credit card, maxing it out, and just paying off your minimum payment every month for life. You know, and you're never going to get rid of it. We can't reduce these costs. It's absolutely shocking what they've done. Um, and then Chris Wheeler came out this morning, I think it was, or was it yesterday? Sorry, it was yesterday. He says a new analysis of Manchester United's financial results by Must show that the debt interest payments will soar to 50 million a year in 2 years, while total transfer debt is still at 391 million, a rise of 52 million on a year ago. I mean, this is just absolutely, these figures are staggeringly just unbelievable. I get lost for words. We are awful on the field, and unfortunately that is now being reflected, or we're now seeing beyond the pitch problem. We're now looking at the entire club. And as I said, the only kind of green shoots of hope are coming with the academy. I know they play in the FA Cup Youth Cup, or the FA Youth Cup later this week, so hopefully they can get a result. But again, cost-cutting measures. They're not allowed to play at Old Trafford because, again, it's too expensive. So they're having to play at Lee Sports Village, which is, yeah, I get that's where they do play a lot of their games, but more fans would maybe go if it was at Old Trafford. You know, they're playing Arsenal. It's going to be a big game. Brilliant FA Youth Cup game. And yeah, we no one can really. Lee Sports Village is so far away. It's so far out of the way that, you know, people aren't necessarily going to travel there. And this is just cost-cutting measures. But you look at that, you know, payments are going to rise to 50 million a year. So when we sell Garnacho and maybe Manu in the summer, whoever goes, we're just servicing the debt with them. So we're going to bring more kids in just to service the debt. Where is this going? I mean, it's just absolutely. It's absolutely shocking. And then Fabrizio Romano sort of kind of talked about the official statement Manchester United have announced on more job cuts. Manchester United is to transform its corporate structure as part of a series of additional measures to improve the club's financial sustainability and enhance operation efficiency. The transformation plans aim for the club to be profitable after 5 consecutive years of loss since 2019. This will create a more solid financial platform which the club, you know, can invest in its men and women's team, football team, and help sort of football success and improve the infrastructure. As part of these measures, the club anticipate that approximately 150 to 200 people, 200 jobs may be redundant, subject to a consultation process with employees. This would be in addition to the 250 already removed from last year. I mean, they're going to consult them. My backside, they're going to consult them. They're just going to turn up and go. It's going to be like a firing squad, and, you know, it's like turning up for X Factor, and, you know, you all go into this room and it's like 90% of the workforce, and the U10 go in here. Oh, wait a minute, U10, you've qualified for the next round. 90% over here. Yeah, there's the door. Bye bye. Out you go. I mean, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal the way they're doing this. And as I said, it's just shocking that the club that we all love, that we all just want to see do well on the pitch and want to be run like a proper football club. This is a business at corporate level. You know, I mean, the Glazers were bad, and I mean, they are bad, and they've caused the problem. And the reason why we're having to service this unbelievable shocking debt is because they are their leverage buyout. But my God, the Ineos have come in and they just trample on top of everything again. It's just like, oh, here's some, you know, we're burning a bush over here. Let's throw some more fire on it and burn the whole city down. You know, that's shocking. Absolutely shocking. And then, okay, so United are going to save 1 million a year. This is funny. So Manchester United estimate that they will save 1 million a year by ending free lunches for staff at Old Trafford. Now, I get most of the places I worked, you always had to buy your lunch or bring your own lunch. So, you know, at the end of the day, I not that I get that, but my point with this one is 1 million a year. Where's that money going? Like, what are they going to do? Is that going to pay someone's wages? That's not even going to pay an academy kid's wages, for the love of God. You know, it just, for Manchester United, the institution that it is, the size of the club that it is, this should not be happening. This should not be happening on any level. Guys, get your thoughts in, please. Obviously, I've been hammering at this. I'm just disgusted with my club. I'm disgusted that we as supporters have to be kind of dragged through the mud every single day by the media, through content online. We're just getting absolutely destroyed, and on the pitch we ain't much better. As I said at the very top, we're looking at Victor Osimhen. Are we buying Victor Osimhen with all these staff cuts? Because apparently the 200 staff cuts that they're going to make, 150 to 200, is going to save around 40 million. That isn't even going to pay Victor Osimhen's, it's a lot of money, I get, but it's not going to even pay his release clause. So, and the service and the debt, 50 million every year. How is this sustainable? We have to have a full seal. There has to be a way to get the Glazers and Ineos out of this club, because they are not helping the situation. They're just crucifying. They're hammering us into the ground. We're being buried in a coffin alive. Shocking. It's absolutely shocking. And then there was this video by Kieran Maguire. I hope this plays. He did a talk with Rio on Rio's channel, and he breaks down his take on the whole situation. It's very interesting. Only about a minute long.
It's not David Sharon in the ticket office. That's the problem at Manchester United. It's player recruitment. It's still generating plenty of cash. If you take a look at how much are they paying out in wages compared to how much is coming in at Manchester United, for every £100 that the club brings in, they're spending 53 on wages. Manchester United got the third lowest in the Premier League. So the problem isn't the wages. It's all of this talk is there to justify, or trying to justify, sacking the staff.
We're led to believe as the fans that that's going to have a big impact on the P&L sheet. You're saying that is nothing to do with it.
No, because...
So why are they then doing that?
Ineos, who are the new owners, they're used to running chemical factories and industrial businesses, where what you're always trying to do is you're trying to cut costs, because you want to be able to sell your product cheaper than your competitors. Well, Manchester United does not have to sell its product. Manchester United's an elite football club. I think that's just that they're so used to that as is their way of running the business.
Well, there you go, guys. I'm not entirely sure whether that played. I couldn't hear it on my end. Maybe it'll play through. Maybe it'll play through the system. I don't know. But if not, Kieran breaks it down really well. It's a wee video. It's only about a minute long. It's kind of worth looking at to see whether where Manchester United are with their current situation. Essentially he just breaks it down about the debt and how all these cost cuttings are kind of so minimal, skirting around the edges. And really the service and getting rid of the debt is really what Manchester United need to do. And obviously they're incapable of doing it. There's no way of doing it at the minute. And the only way of kind of servicing that debt is by selling players. So thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Hit me a like and subscribe on the way out if you would. That would be absolutely magic. Bottom right hand side of the corner of the screen, tap the old subscribe. Would be amazing. Thank you very much for everybody who's been tuning in so far. Hope you're enjoying the content. I've been loving doing it. I'm Keith, and I'll see you on the next one.